Hey guys, Brian with you, Fishing Hype Outdoors. Got a great video for you today. We got out this morning early and got that early action in out on the Big O. Went out actually trying to do a buzzbait deal, and the wind's blowing out of the south pretty good, and it was kind of beating up our area that I was hoping to fish, and the fish weren't coming up to eat. They wanted to stay down a little bit, so we put that buzzbait down pretty quick and picked up the Outkast Tackle swim jig and commenced to put a beating on them. The fish just didn't want to commit to coming up out of the water and chasing bait fish up there. They wanted to stay down a little bit, so that swim jig was it was absolutely perfect. We tried a couple other baits, but man, that swim jig did the deal. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Caught a bunch of fish, and hopefully give you a couple pointers on it. Alright guys, we're going to come out here, do a little early morning fishing on the Big O. Throw this buzzbait around a little bit, see if we can get one to blow up on it. I don't know if they're going to come up quite as good with this wind out here that we got today, but we're definitely going to try it. Just going to find some of these cuts in these grass lines like this, little points like this, and see what we can come across. This wind push us down through here. Just used the trolling motor to just keep us off this weed line. That sun comes up here a bit more, gets a little bit lighter out. This bite should turn on a bit. I've heard a few fish blow up so far, but nothing like it'll be here in probably about 15-20 minutes. A few more fish starting to blow up now. First time we've gotten out most of the week. There's one. We've had a chance of rain and storms almost all week with all the tropical crap going on. Oh, come out of there. Crap. No, come on. This is the first time we've really gotten out the last 5-6 days. And in the end, it hadn't really even been that bad of weather. I'm sure somebody's been out maybe beating up on them, but hopefully these fish have been kind of left alone. Nothing worse than being stuck out here in a... There's one. Choked it. Not a big one, but that's where I'd like to see him eat it. Definitely not as much activity yet on the surface, and I don't know if it's just because of the wind and it's just they're still here and eating and they're a little bit below. Both those bites I had I didn't see them come up and get it. Normally they come up and, yeah, I mean, you could see your bite, you almost jerk it away from them too soon. So what we're going to do is probably throw the swim jig more than anything and just keep it down there just a little bit. Normally you're trying to reel it so you've got it up there breaking the surface, and I think this time, today we're going to have to just keep it just under the surface a little bit. Wind will make it hard too to kind of hear where fish are. A lot of times you can tell in different areas these fish will school up in different spots. They're all along this Kissimmee grass like this, but there's definitely, day to day it changes, but there's definitely little spots within the grass that the fish will congregate better than other areas. And you can just hear that by them feeding, coming up, busting water. You can just tell in one area there'll be a lot more activity than in other areas. Obviously, that's the areas you kind of want to key on. Oh, there's one. Come here, buddy. There we go. Not a bad fish. Not a giant, but for these schooling fish, not a bad fish. I like to throw my swim jig on a fast reel, 7.5 to 1 up to 8 to 1 gear ratio. And sometimes, like today, you just gotta. Sometimes, like a day like today, you gotta just slow it down a little bit to keep that bait just under the surface. I like one that's a little bit faster. You can cover some extra water with it. Then, if you need to, getting a few more fish busting up on top here. If you need to, you can, you don't have to reel that fast to keep that bait up on top. I'd much rather try to slow down than trying to crank as fast as I can to get a bait to be where it needs to be. Seven to 1 gear ratio will work too. I just prefer to have a 7, I just prefer to have that little bit faster, 7.5 to an 8. I think this MGX I'm throwing is a 7.9 to 1. I believe that it is, yeah, 7.9 to 1. So oh, look at that right there. That thing hit the water and he ate it. Feels like maybe a little better fish. There we go. Oh, he choked it too. That is a little better fish. Yeah, I mean, that thing hit the water and he had it. There we go. Look at how fat he is. Chunk. They're blowing up on the bait fish generally. There's one right there. Oh, come on. Little feller, but we got him. That's why a lot of times you'll see 2, 3 together when they blow up, because you get a little school of them together and they circle those bait fish and push them to the top and gorge themselves. So there's fish pretty much through any of this grass down through here. I mean, there's shad through it, so the bass are going to be in it. But it seems like when you can get on these little points where there's like a channel or something cut through, and you can get get an area that makes a point of grass where the fish got a few, they got more multiple areas to get in and out of the grass to the open water and back into the grass, and kind of confine where the bait fish are going to be. Sure seems like there's a little bit steadier action and a few more fish. here. You got this channel coming back through here. You got a point right back there. You got this basically makes a little bit of a point. More or less got a little bit of a point out there because there's another channel going that way. There it is. Boy, when they get it, of course I can't see them and I can't jerk it away from them, but boy, do they eat it. Every one of them's got it down their throat. This one's being like, he ain't wanting to fight. He's probably been caught before. He's like, all right, just get me in. I know what this is about. Well, we've obviously got the right bait, right colors, because these fish aren't eating it. So far I've been able to catch them on the swim jig pretty good. I'm going to break out just the swim bait. Got a big bites cane thumper on here too. Just got a little, I believe this is just a little owner jig head. I don't even know what they really call it. It's just got a little spinner on the bottom. You Texas rig it, got a spring in there, and just that way you can kind of throw it through this grass and not get tangled up in it. Little blade gives a little flash down there, just a little something. That swim bait's just a little bulkier than what this looks. Here you pretty much just got the swim bait, so it's kind of nice having that that little willow leaf on there to give it a little bit of flash. Oh, dang it. I think that's why I hooked them on that swim jig too. I mean, they're eating it pretty good, but you don't get that where you're seeing it and jerking it away too soon. This bait's a little bit lighter, so I kind of got to reel it just a little. There he came back and got, that's twice that same fish. Well, see if third time's a charm. What I was saying is, got to reel this a little bit slower because this is not as heavy a little bait. So it'll crawl up on that grass a little bit more. There, Gamey got it. Ah, and he still come off. Dang it. There, got it. So he didn't look like a big one, he's sure fighting like one. Come here, dude. There we are. Decent fish. Alright. Well, let's rig this thing up for you. I'll show you how to rig it. He kind of tore that bait up. This head looks like it's getting a little loose on here. Basically all it is this corkscrew to hold the bait on. your hook and just a willow leaf, but it's starting to spin, so I'm going to try to push this lead down on here. There we go. Keep it from spinning. What color are we going to throw? Where are you throwing that? Let's go with this a little bit brighter white belly. Okay. And all we're doing here is taking the nose of that bait, push it up on here like this. Keep your string out of the way. Give it a good turn. Get it so that thing's straight up and down. So when that hook goes in this belly slot here, pull it up through and it comes out that top hook slot here on this cane thumper. And what I like to do, I still like to kind of just, especially in this grass like this, just hide it just enough so that that tip doesn't catch the grass. On a shad bite, it doesn't matter where you're at in the country, anytime they're on that shad bite, white's the deal. Your whites, your silvers, pearls. See if these fish will maybe a little more active back here. Where that wind's key though. That wind kind of breaks up that surface and bangs those bait fish around and disorients them and allows the bass to prey on them a little easier. Bait wasn't working, so we picked up the swim jig here again, and activity's definitely slowed down. Got it. Smoked it. Oh, that was a cool bite. You jumped completely out of the water to get it. There we go. Come here, buddy. That trailer's pretty beat up. Yeah. That's one awesome thing about this Outkast Tackle swim jig, heavy cover swim jig. How big that fork is there. You get that bait up on there, it's generally not going anywhere unless the fish tears it up. Takes a bunch to push it on there too, and you got a slimy bait. There we go. Oh, look at that. Right there where the hue had been. Oh. I think he come off. Maybe not. Huh? Maybe not. Still one hungry one out here. There, got it. That's a little better fish. Get out of the grass. Man, look at where he's got this thing. He looked better, but he looks sickly like he ain't eating that well. Look at where he had that. I mean, choked again. I'm telling you what, that hook and that Outkast Tackle swim jig, that heavy cover one, will flat pin him. Thin as a rail. He needed to eat. Well, this bite is pretty much died. About normal for this time of the day. Shortly after 8 o'clock. Sun's been up for a bit already. I think we're going to call it a day. And we'll try to get back after it tomorrow and go check a different part of the lake and see what we can catch then. Anyhow, we're out of here. We're done. We got done with our trip today and made a pretty awesome video. Caught a bunch of fish. and most everything we caught was on the Outkast Tackle swim jig. Just gonna go over real quick a little bit of what I've been throwing it on. Throwing it on the sniper, and also been throwing it on the invoker rod. I got my frog on this one, but it's a 7.3 meg medium heavy. It's a medium heavy, but it's actually a little bit stouter than a normal medium heavy. It's got for ripping those fish out of the grass, it works pretty awesome. Sunline using 35 pound, the new BXS braid, and throwing that on with a Revo. This is the MGX 7.9-1. Like I said in the video, I definitely like something that is 7-1 or better, and I'm a big guy with 7.5 to even an 8.0 if I can. I've thrown it with the 8.0 STX. Just like something a little bit faster. I can always slow down, but man, if they want that bait and they want it skipping up across the top, it's hard to get a slower gear ratio to go that fast. But 7.3 meg medium heavy. And what I'll also throw that swim bait on, or the swim jig and my swim bait on, is the 7.6 medium heavy. This got a little bit more tip to it than what the mag medium does, but this is a great bait for getting that bigger hook into those fish, and then getting them out of that cover. As you see in that video, the cover's pretty thick out there that you're trying to drag them out of. But that's the deal, just throwing. And this is the heavy cover swim jig. We got a light wire and the heavy wire, but that heavy wire, I mean, it's got a bigger bite on it, and you see it did job when they had it. They got it, and they ain't coming off their pins. So hope you guys enjoy the video.